All right, cat's out of the bag. I bought a 4Runner. Good old 3rd gen beauty. So if you follow my Instagram page or know me at all, you already know about this because I've had it for 6 months. And that, my friends, is about how far behind on videos I am. 6 months. Any Hooters, I'm gonna finally do an intro video on this. Jet also got a new car around the same time as me, and we haven't done an intro video on that yet either. That car already has a video on the channel though. But I filmed about 500 DIY videos on this that I need to post. This thing's seen a lot of DIY work already. It's also seen a lot of miles and a couple adventures. It's done a lot, been a lot of places, but it hasn't been on the channel. So before I start posting all the DIY videos I did on it, I'd like to give y'all a walk around. This is a 1999 Toyota 4Runner V6 4-wheel drive. Ooh. So I've actually already done a crap ton of work to this, but I haven't filmed a video on it yet. So I guess I'll do a brief little overview of the 4Runner and then tell you everything I've done so far. For anyone that doesn't know, these vehicles are super sought after, super reliable. Toyota in general is known for its reliability, but these in particular are great. So the 4Runners that came before this is a 3rd generation. The 2nd generation, those are known to have head gasket failures due to exhaust design and stuff, things you can fix, but they're not as reliable. These, they have a big failure head gasket, right? A lot of cars are known for like big failures. So that's one for 2nd gens is head gasket's pretty common. 1st gens, I don't really know, but they're pretty old. They probably got issues. Toyota's 4-cylinders have always been reliable, pretty much all their cars as well. But their V6s in particular, a lot of the newer ones will leak oil when they're new, and then you have to pull the engine to do a front cover, so that sucks on newer Tacomas and 4Runners and stuff. But these bad boys, nothing. They're fine, nothing goes wrong, nothing. From what I've seen too, the generation after these seem pretty reliable as well. They obviously aren't as high mileage because they're newer than these, but a lot of these are at 200, 300, 400,000 miles. I've seen a couple over 400,000 still running for sale, and they just don't break. Let me take you inside. Let's take a pop at the... So this bad boy right here is the cream of the crop Toyota V6 that runs forever. There is also a supercharger option that was, I believe, a factory option you could add on, and there's a TRD supercharger. You can still buy them, they're just really expensive, but those are pretty sweet. I kind of want to do that eventually, to be honest. But any Hooters, this engine is super cool, and I have not checked the timing belt yet. That's about the only maintenance item you have to do on these is replace the timing belt, but it's super easy because you pop that plastic cover off. You got all the room in the world relative to newer cars. And if you want to see if a timing belt's done on one, all you have to do is loosen that clamp, slide it back, take those nuts off that plastic cover and slide it over the radiator hose, and you can look, which I haven't done yet. People are like, hey, have you checked that? I'm like, honestly, I haven't, because these just don't break, but I need to pop that cover off and see if mine's been done. The guy I bought it from said it had been done. He had a neighbor that was a Toyota tech and did that, but that same guy also routed these spark plug wires horrendously, and they looked like a braided rope, and I straightened them out as best I could using all the clips that weren't broken. But anywho, that was done, valve covers were done recently, and then things I've done under here is spark plugs, oil change, transmission fluid change, starter battery, master cylinder. We'll get into that later. But lots of new stuff. This radiator looks pretty new. It's not the OEM one. So radiator, timing belt. That's like the only things that will break on a 20-year-old truck. As you can see, this don't look good. We got some rust. We got some paint missing. At least I took off the hideous looking steps, so at least it looks taller now. But the paint looks like crap, so I want to wrap it. I want to put TRD wheels on it, then it'll look nice. But the point is, these things are super reliable, they run forever, and they're also very desirable. So what I did was I found one that looked like shit, and I made it cheaper. And this has 282,000 miles on it. It was a couple miles under 280,000 when I bought it, and I'm just over 282,000. So put a couple thousand miles on it, and I don't drive very much, so it's a decent amount. This thing's pretty sweet. It came with those seat covers on that you can buy on eBay for not too much. And I mean, they look newer, but I don't like them. They're not as form-fitted as the OEM, and they don't have as many seams. They just don't look good. They look loose and ugly. And I took this one off because what else I discovered was our backs were getting hot driving. And then I took the cover off of the seat and realized it's like a 1/4 inch of freaking insulation. It's like driving with a jacket on. So that seat cover makes the seat super freaking hot. That's not fun. So I took it off of this one. I'm gonna take that one off to see what it looks like, order some new covers maybe. To be honest, the seat doesn't really look that bad to me. I don't care too much. But if the driver's seat's more messed up, then I'll have to order some new covers. But I like doing interior work, seat covers, all that stuff. Upholstery, that's the word. I don't mind upholstery stuff, pretty fun. So anyways, let me finish the tour of the truck and I'll tell you what I've done to it. Okay. Back seats, a little dirty, but decent enough condition. I gotta put my camping chairs away. Came with these like super ugly floor mats, carpet's super dirty like every other 4Runner, but it's in pretty decent shape on the inside. Some of these things are super, super gross, but this one's not too bad. Just like it rolled off a factory floor. Anywho, no, I don't think it's ever been an accident. Whoever painted these doors just sucked because 3 of the doors look like this, but body jambs, door gaps are all good. These things are awesome for the amount of space they got in the back. I fit a whole bunch of crap in here. I originally got this for the mobile mechanic stuff that I was doing for a little bit, and this thing was freaking awesome for that. It was super cool. These seats fold down flat, give you a ton of room. You gotta take out the headrest, but if you don't know, headrest out on the floor. If you don't know, now you know. All kinds of room. All kinds of room. Fold that one down, all kinds of room. They also have this cool little pocket back here that I have full of fun stuff. All the necessities. Anywho, you can also get a cover right here. Slides in there, cover the back, like that in the Subaru. Anyways, you can see why people like 4Runners. Whole bunch of room in them. It's comfortable to drive. It's high off the ground. It's a 4-wheel drive. It off-roads, fantastic stock, and it runs forever. It will run forever, and it won't break. Knock on wood. This mother trucker won't break. So as far as why I bought a 4Runner, I was doing the mobile mechanic work. I didn't want to ruin the Subaru, and I've always wanted one of these. I think between my older brothers, they've owned like 3 or 4 4Runners, Toyota pickup, stuff like that. So I've always liked them. I've always liked the way they look. Of course, the reliability is a huge factor. They're easy to work on, parts are cheap, it's Japanese. What Japanese car isn't good, you know what I'm saying? So now I own 3 different Japanese cars that are different brands, but they're all super reliable so far. So that's why I wanted one. They're super awesome. So far, I freaking love it. I love driving it, sitting up high again. I've been driving tiny cars for a while, so super cool. I like it. Let me tell you what I've already done to it. First of all, let's address these wheels and tires. These wheels are off of the next generation Tacoma. So they are much newer than the vehicle, and from a Tacoma, meaning they are slightly bigger than the factory wheels. So on a factory 4Runner, the 2-wheel drive came with 15-inch wheels, and the 4-wheel drive came with 16-inch wheels in different tire sizes. These are 17-inch wheels because they're off of a newer truck, and they're a little bit bigger. So what I discovered is these wheels are the exact same size as the brand new TRD wheels, which is what I want to put on here. So what I did was, we were going to the desert. I said, I need new tires before we go to the desert, but I want to get these wheels in the future. So did my research, found out the wheels are the same size, which means when I get the TRD wheels I want, I can swap these tires that are brand new onto the TRD wheels. Win-win. The other cool thing about these wheels being gigantic is they very, very, very easily clear the Tundra brake upgrade. To finish talking about tires, BF Goodrich, all-terrain, KO2s, that size. Load range E, which is totally fine for a 4Runner. Did my research online. Some people are like, load range E will ride like crap on the 4Runner, this, that, and this. Nah, these ride like a dream. They're great. I also put them at like 40 PSI when we went to the desert to try and save on some gas mileage because they're heavy. And I just left them like that the whole time, to be honest. And it was fine. Anywho, these tires are freaking fantastic and I love them. These 17-inch wheels easily cleared these Tundra brakes. So I did already perform the Tundra brake upgrade on this truck. It's a pretty common thing people do to 4Runners. The Tundra brakes calipers are slightly larger, hold a little more fluid, which helps dissipating heat and applying pressure. And then the rotors themselves are significantly larger than the 4Runner rotors. And again, that helps with heat dissipation. So brake fade, all that stuff doesn't happen as quickly. Way more meat on the rotors, a little bit more meat on the calipers. This thing stops like a freaking dream. I was gonna have the brakes all apart, went all out. I did front Tundra rotors, calipers, and I got OEM replacement hard brake lines in case I damaged them. The one that goes to the caliper. Little tiny metal guy right there. And then I got aftermarket front brake lines, steel braided and coated. That's the soft line that was rubber, and the old ones are pretty beat up. And then in the rear, there's a single rubber brake line that goes from the body to the rear axle. I replaced that with an extended one, so if I ever lift the truck, I won't need to replace that again. Then I replaced the rear wheel cylinders, rear drum brake pads, and rear drum brake drums. Meaning everything in the brake assembly in this vehicle, except for the hard lines on the body and on the rear axle, is brand new. Because I was doing the brakes and I was trying to film everything and I was doing other stuff at the same time. I left my calipers off the front of the truck for a while and I drained my master cylinder all the way on accident because I had everything open. And that ran my master cylinder dry and broke it, ruined the seals in it. So after I put all my brand new brakes on the truck, I had a sinking brake pedal because master cylinder wouldn't hold pressure. So then I replaced the master cylinder. So literally everything on this truck, brake-wise, is brand new, except for the hard lines. Worth it? Nah, it's fine because now I trust the brakes and they work beautifully. And the other thing that people a lot of times don't think of with their brakes being good is tires are very important. Brakes ain't gonna do shit if you don't got traction on the road. Meaty and beefy as hell. To be honest, I was driving the other day and I think it stops better than the race car, which has upgraded brakes. Other maintenance items I did was pretty much everything in the rear axle. So again, I had the rear brakes apart, so I did wheel cylinders because wheel cylinders just tend to leak on older vehicles, drum brakes. Over time, they leak, so I replaced those. The other thing I replaced that tends to leak on these is the rear axle seals. I had all the drum brake stuff off, might as well take the whole axle off, right? Took the axle out, there's 2 seals in there. Not one, there's 2, which I figured out once I took it off. I only had the inner seal. There's also a dust seal. Replaced both of those on either side. Had to get a little seal puller tool, but altogether, if you have the correct tools, that's a super easy job. I also drained and filled all the fluids on this truck, which is a lot of freaking fluids. Benefit of me having a lot of front wheel drive cars, especially like the Integra being a manual. This truck, on the other hand, radiator's new, so coolant's new. I did engine oil, rear diff, front diff, transfer case, transmission. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Did I say engine? I think I said engine. Anyways, there's a lot of freaking fluids on this truck. I did all this work before I went to the desert because I wanted the truck to be reliable. So I did all these seals, all the brakes, all the tires, every single fluid in the truck, spark plugs. When I bought U-joints, I haven't done them yet. I brought them with me to the desert, but I have not done them yet. And I got a new spare tire. I just got a little cheap boy, all-terrain, just in case these things won't pop. They're amazing. I got new belts too. Haven't put them on, but I brought them to the desert with me just in case. I need to put those on. In summary, I basically did all of the maintenance on the truck. So before we went to the desert, I dumped way too much money into this truck, and you couldn't even tell because it still looked like a pile of shit, which it still does now. But it was totally worth it because it was awesome. It did very well. I'll throw a little bit of footage at the end of this video. 4Runner did great in the desert. I wish I would have took the steps off before he went to get a little clearance, but it was fine. We didn't do anything too crazy. I finally started doing some cosmetic stuff recently. So I dipped my toes into the pool of window tint. It looks fine from afar, but if you come up close, there's a couple boys. I don't know if you can see that. I'll take you on the inside. So the factory window tint on this is dark enough that I added window tint on the inside, right? And it made the whole truck dark enough that it looks good. But if you actually go on the inside, you can see my fuck ups. So that one's actually fine. This one, here we go. Oh god. I'll probably do a little video about the window tint. I know what I did wrong. It was too warm. I didn't have enough fluid on the glass. Front windows came out okay. But again, you can't really tell from out here. Like there, you see that one. Yeah, at this angle. But then over here, you can't see it. So it looks pretty good. I definitely messed up like 3 windows really, really bad. So I might redo them because it'd probably only be like 70 bucks. But the main goal was to keep the truck cooler, keep sunlight and prying eyes out. So I'm not too worried about it. to be honest. The windows, the front windows look okay. Those are the ones I'm going to be looking out of, so don't really care that much. So I use ceramic tint, so it blocks out a whole bunch more UV, so to keep the truck a lot cooler with the new tint, and taking these goddamn freaking thick sons of guns. Look at that, it's like a blanket. It's like a blanket on the inside. Like fuzzy, freaking thick. So anyways, it's gonna be nice and cool inside. So that's the first cosmetic upgrade I've done to the truck, which is fun to finally do something cosmetic and not practical. On the other hand, I need to wrap it and get wheels because it looks like a pile of shit. But another cool thing I did was put shitty speakers in it. Sorry, I'm trying to close the door. A real fun thing I did was got a stereo right away because these cars come with like AM, FM radio and like a cassette tape, I think, because it's from 1999. So what I got was, had this little backup camera laying around. I installed that and I threw it on with this radio I got. So I had the backup camera. And I got this head unit, threw this in, so I have hooked up the backup camera to this. So I got backup camera, I got Apple CarPlay, charge your phone. Pretty nice, you know, you can do your maps on here. Everything Apple CarPlay has, obviously, right? So that is pretty sweet. Music is important to me, and having maps up is pretty nice, especially going camping, going to places, you know, never driven to. It's nice to have the maps up. So overall, interior, 7 out of 10. Exterior, 2 out of 10. It helped me get it cheap, but I honestly love this thing, and it's sick. And Rochelle drives the Subaru now, and I'm not even mad about it. I have done, I don't even know, 50 hours of work on this thing. It's so much, too much. I'm gonna do a lot more. And I have probably 20 videos to edit and post on this truck, which is why we're getting this intro video done first. And then I'm going to start posting all the videos on the truck. I have a million more things I want to do to this truck, to be honest. So like and subscribe if you want to see this 4Runner build come to life. But after buying one and owning it for 6 months, I fully understand why they have a huge cult following now. It's honestly such a great truck. Such a great truck. But seriously, the truck is freaking sick, so. When the truck's on and you're in gear, you can move the shifter so far that it lights up the next gear, even though it hasn't changed. I got the bushings for that. Oh, another thing to fix.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not really fine, but you just can't.
Just like always. Routing that backup camera was a bitch, by the way. This wasn't too bad. What was a B was taking off all this shit, all that shit, and routing that backup camera to the back. Because I don't know if you know, but this vehicle is huge and very long. Routing that backup camera took forever. Any Hooters, thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe if you want to see all the DIY videos I'm going to edit and post from this truck. I'm going to keep doing a whole bunch of stuff to this truck. I fully understand why people love these trucks. It tows 5,000 pounds, so the Integra on a car dolly, it's only like 2,500 or 3,000. So it's gonna be my daily driver, our adventure vehicle, and my tow vehicle for the race car. So what more can you ask for? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What more can you ask for? Anyways, thanks for watching the video again. Like, subscribe. We got all kinds of content, racing content, off-road content, adventure content with this, DIYs on this, DIYs on a million other vehicles. I still have Civic DIYs and Subaru DIYs to post and all kinds of stuff. So just follow along already.